In the last video we did some of the finishing touches like the gutters and the parapets and the coping stones. So today we're going to move on and we're going to do some more of the finishing touches. We're going to show you how to do the ridge tiles, and also I want to do a little bit of painting with you. So we're going to probably put a couple of the downpipes on as well. So that's today's little exercise. What I did was cut out some of these ridge tiles and I folded them over and I painted them in like a terracotta colour. Now they're too plain, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a pencil, and I don't know if you can see this or not, I'm just going to distress it up a little bit so it'll look more realistic. And it's very simple to do with a pencil, and we can always put finishing touches afterwards when they're on as well. I'm not going to do it all, I'll just do a little bit for you. And then what I actually did was I marked my distance on here, 450 millimeters to scale, and I put a little pencil mark on there. This has been a wonderful little cutting board. It's a little piece that I got left off there, so I use it for everything now. So what I'm going to do is hold it and put that down to my mark, and then I'm going to use my fingers as a gauge and cut off the desired lengths of hip or ridge or whatever you want to call it. It's not rocket science, no great measurements. Okay, I've got enough to demonstrate with there now. So these are going to be my ridge tiles. You can see what they look like close up. Oh, you see they're V-section like so. I've already made a start and they don't look bad, do they? I've done one hip there, and I think you'll agree those look pretty realistic to say they're only made out of cardboard. So what I'm going to do now is just show you how I put them on. It's dead simple, and we'll take the bottom one, because it's at an angle I'm going to have to cut off a little angle for the bottom one. So being careful with the scissors, put a little snitch there and a little snitch there. So now I've got like a little V at the bottom. So that's going to be the first going to sit on there. So I'll put a little bit of glue on. I'll just do a few so that you get the idea. So that's the bottom one, and that's going to be stuck on there like so. And then the next one is just going to overlap that. So I'll get that one in place, and then this one just overlaps it a little bit, and so on. The next one will overlap that, and the next one will overlap that, and you just keep working your way up there until you get to the top. What you've got to do is just make a few little tiny adjustments, and this is where my magic little bamboo stick comes in again, just to line things up. You can touch that down there, squeeze it in place, let the glue ooze out. That's one's come off, so we'll put that one back on, and there's the first four in place now. So by the time I've got to the top, it's going to look like this one here. You can see I've also put my downpipe on. There's 1, 2, 3, and what I've done, if you look closely, well, here's one I prepared earlier. I've stuck two little blocks on, one there and one there. That's to keep it away from the stonework. So you can see when it glues on, there's going to be a gap there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it on this side now. This is the side that doesn't have the gutter. Oh, I'm going to put this one on here actually. I've got a little ridge in there which I don't like. So what I'm going to do is cheat a little bit. And I'm going to put that downpipe over there, which is going to hide that. It's going to hide that little bubble in the thing. So again, with my magic little stick there, take off any surplus glue. Make sure that it's parallel. And this gutter wouldn't have a little shoe on the bottom like these do. These have got little shoes where the water would shoot out. This would go straight down into the platform. And the other one is going to go on here. So I'm going to glue that one over there. That's going to have that little thing on there. So that's going to be there. So those are the downpipes and the ridges and hips covered now. So what I'll do later, I will finish those off now, and then I'll come back to you and I'll show you about painting. So we may as well move on with the painting now as well. So I have a little container and a brush, and to make this look stone coloured, what I do is I take a little bit of black, shake it up. These are very cheap paints. They're acrylic paints and they're non-toxic and everything, but the black always goes everywhere. I don't know how that manages. Good job I always got a bit of spare paper around. So that, add a little black in there. Oops, that's plenty, that's too much actually, but it doesn't matter. Another piece of paper again, as I say, the black seems to go everywhere. And this here, believe it or not, used to be a white paint. It's supposed to be white in colour, but it's gone very grey over the years. It says they're white. And its expiry date was 2015, so it's about 6 years old. It's very liquid as well. But I can just mix that with that, and that'll give me a nice sort of stone colour, nice grey colour. And I don't want to mix it too much because I want a little bit of see, that's too dark, so I can just stick a little bit of lighter on it. That's still too dark. A little bit difficult to show you here now, so it's too black. So a little bit of white in there, and you'll see it starts to look like stone after a while. I'll take this lot, paint this here now. I'm just taking the white actually now because the black is too black. I'm going to put a bit more white with it actually, because I didn't get too much. Oops, that's enough. I did get too much black out at the first time. So this nice little grey now. Just finding the right balance of colour. And I haven't found it there yet, so I'm going to have to put more grey on. That's the sort of colour we're looking for, more at the top. You see how it's gone a little bit grey there. So put some more grey, some more white in it to make it greyer. And that's there as well. So So you get the idea. See how it's grey there? So I want more of that grey in there rather than the black. So I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. I'll get it to something that's a little bit consistent. I don't want a bit too consistent because it's supposed to be a weathered surface when it's finished. What I'll do now, I'll complete that and then I'll show you what it's like when it's all finished. I've now got the hips and ridges more or less completed, but I can't quite finish off this top section here yet because I've got to put in a chimney. Considering that this is the only real photograph I've got of the outside of the station, you can see there's two chimneys there. There's a double one and a single one, and what I need to do is to make sure that I get it quite as good as I can get it. If you look at the other drawing, there's a little bit more detail there. You can see they're made out of stone, these chimneys, and they're built quite sturdily on some kind of a Georgian type of construction. So this is what I've got to replicate now. I've done a rough sketch of the gable end there, and this is what I look to try and get some kind of a scale there so it'll look right when it's completed. So what I've done is I've drawn this out to scale, and then what I've done, I've cut some 8mm strips of cardboard here, which are 8mm that way, and they're both 4mm thick, so that gives me an 8x8. They'll be for the chimneys. And then I made a prototype for this, which I can wrap around the cardboard when I've glued it together. So this will give us the actual chimney pot itself, if you want to call it that. So that's where we're at the moment. I use this pattern to make the chimney. So what I did was I made this part first of all, and if you look at it, it's two pieces of cardboard, thickish, and two little thin pieces on the side, and I cut it to fit the roof here. So that's where it's going to go. It'll look something like that when it's finished. And then last night I glued up, here's my trusty, whoops, it stuck to it, my trusty flat iron, and I made this. This is like for the top of this. This is the parging that goes on top. So let's get it on a side view so you can see a little bit better. Remember, I'm going off an existing one that is already there, and these are the chimney pots that I previously made. So, oops, not quite level, nowhere near level actually. Let's try it that way. One, whoops, there, that's better. Now that's what it's looking something like. So my next job is to get some stone and cover it around all this bottom section, and also around the chimney pots themselves, because they were built out of stone. So that's the next thing to do, and I'll give you another update when I've done that.